In this episode of the Sailing Duels podcast, it's another Ask Me Anything where I answer all the questions from my patrons. Welcome to the Sailing Doodles podcast, where we talk to all sorts of people in the sailing and boating community. It's available wherever you get your audio podcasts and on YouTube. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/sailingdoodles. Okay, and so basically the way this works is I asked my patrons on a patrons post. So patrons is kind of like, it's like a subscription service to the channel, right? I mean, they get extra videos, they get early content, they get to ask questions, they get access to our tracker and stuff like that. And one of the perks is that they can ask me anything. So this is the May edition of Ask Me Anything. I've got, 4 pages printed off here. I haven't even looked at them. So, I don't know how long this will take me to get through, but if it gets too long, I'll probably cut it off. But, for now, we will get through with the questions. So the first question is from Andrew Sick. How do you know the lovely ladies that were on your journey like Amanda and Taylor? I met Amanda when I was in New York last October, and it was actually through her business Eternal Fluor, but I met with her while I was there. So Eternal Fluor with Amanda, she has her own Eternal, like a flower, you've probably seen an ad in one of the videos, eternalfluor.com, and they're like the flowers that are they stay treated with like a what do they call it, glycerin or something like that, and it'll last for a year. So pretty cool stuff there. And then Taylor, she actually started her own YouTube channel a while back, and so I saw that and reached out to her and said, hey, I need crew, would you like to come along? Megan was just a friend of mine, friend of a friend, really. I mean, I knew her a little bit. I didn't know her too well. Laura and I met when we were on season 1, when we were down in the Virgin Islands. So that's how I know her. And then I guess Taylor came after that. Geez, sorry. I'm trying to see. I say a lot of comments have been like, I'm working on it. So it's hard to do when you're sitting here talking to yourself for an hour. Not having and us in there, but I'm working on it. So hopefully that answered that other question, Andrew. Next question is from Larry Bridgewater. Can you address how you handle security in general and what makes you feel safe personally and belongings? I'm not a boat owner yet, and maybe is not as big a concern for everyday sailor. I love your videos. Yeah, I mean, it can be a concern, by the way. Cheers, guys. Let me crack open a brewski here. So that's a pretty commonly asked question. It's not so bad. Basically, just choose your cruising area. Like places like the Bahamas are very generally safe, except for certain areas, right? You get outside of Nassau and stuff like that. But when you're out in the other, like the remote islands, it's very safe. Most people don't even lock up their dinghies at night or anything like that. Now then, you can get in, and so like if you're near in a place like Nassau or something like that, then you probably do want to maybe lock up your dinghy at night. I'm in St. Martin currently. I do lock up my dinghy every night. It's a brand new dinghy, and it's kind of a nice one. So that would be somebody might steal something. Very rarely do you ever hear of people like their boat getting boarded and like robbed or burgled. It doesn't happen. Mostly it depends on where you're cruising. You try to avoid the areas that are pretty dangerous. And if you're in a dangerous area, take the extra precautions. When you're in a remote island, there's nobody else around, it's generally pretty safe. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're in a big metropolitan area, you have to worry about it more. And it's also cruising grounds. Like, down near Venezuela, you don't want to go down there. The Philippines, I hear, is real bad right now. And certain areas in the Caribbean are worse than others. I mean, I know people that were robbed in the Dominican Republic. They had their boat boarded while they weren't there and had a lot of stuff stolen. I don't really hear of too many, what would it be, like physical crimes. Is mostly just theft, and the theft kind of stuff is mostly just like dinghies and all that. And a lot of that, who knows if it's really okay. Did you come home and have a few drinks and not tie up the dinghy well, or did somebody come steal it? What happened? So it's safety is not a concern. I do have a key. I lock up the boat whenever I'm going to be leaving for more than just a little bit, but just be common sense, and it's mostly about where you're cruising. That's the thing I'd say. Any plan to go to the Northeast again this year? Montauk and Newport are really great destinations. No, don't really have any plans yet for this summer. I haven't really decided. I think if Europe opens up, I may try to go. I've been working with a charter company there that would offer me some boats in exchange for promotion on the channel. So I'd like to do that. I'm going to put my boat away for hurricane season and get back to it in October and go sailing again down here in the Caribbean for next season. So I'm really not planning on having this boat put away until July 1st. Technically, it depends on your insurance. Some insurance companies say June 1st. Some say July 1st for the start of hurricane season. Mine actually doesn't require me to leave the hurricane box because my insurance is based out of Puerto Rico. But that's what it is. So no plans for that this year. That was Michael Dumont, if I don't remember if I said his name. So Chad Hartley, how is your pup doing? Not great right now. So my parents' dog, Jack, is my dog's older brother. He was just unfortunately put down last week. He was in a lot of pain from arthritis and could hardly walk. Definitely couldn't go upstairs and stuff. And it was just time. He really didn't move at all during the day. I mean, he was still... he wanted to please, you know what I mean? That's what they hide their pain because they want to make you happy and all that. Obviously, Maverick passed away last year, and Goose is not doing so well. He's kind of had a battle with pancreatitis off and on for a while. And my mom, I just talked to her today, and she said that he is not eating again, so they're taking him to the vet today to get looked at. Hopefully, they can rehab him. If things are going downhill, I'll probably maybe go home this week to hopefully I don't have to handle things like that. But man, I mean that's the toughest. That's the tough thing about having dogs, man. They're great, such sweet animals, but they live too short, and you gotta how many dogs I've buried, like literally a few. So anyway, it's a sad thing. I hope he does all right, but we'll see how he does. And we'll get the report hopefully next couple days, and then I might be heading home next week to deal with some stuff. So we'll see. Eric Rimkite says, "Hi Bobby, wondering how often you recognize when cruising or at marinas. Is it a common occurrence given your amount of subscribers? Do you typically have a good amount of social invites? Maybe someone wanted each spot you visit." It's been quite often, honestly. Like down here in the Virgin Islands. Well, I'm in St. Martin now, but even here in St. Martin or the Virgin Islands, it's almost daily. It's who knew it would become a thing. And it is. I mean, it is nice. You do get lots of good invites to social occasions and stuff like that. And I take them up on some not. It just depends. But it's it is pretty amazing that it happens quite often now. So it mostly what is going on up there? The wind's going crazy up there. Sorry if you hear some banging. There's a pretty windy day today here. But it is kind of nice. It's very flattering and all that. So interesting though. It's fun. It mostly happens in areas, boating areas, marinas, or maybe in a lot where there's boating is really prevalent. Although it is weird. One time I was in the middle of Tennessee at the Chattanooga airport. Somebody's like, "Hey, Bobby, do whatever." So anyway, interesting. So Scott Young asks, "We travel to St. Martin every year. Since the French side is closed, I'm assuming you are on Easter Bay or Phillipsburg or Simpson Bay. What has been your favorite establishments during this leg of your trip? And what beach is your favorite? There are so many beaches to choose from." Haven't done any beaches yet down here because my friends got here. They were here for one day. My friends helped me get the boat down here. They were here for one day, and then they left. And so I've been here 5 days basically by myself, just kind of chilling. Because I haven't been able to do that lately. I've been editing and catching up on work and stuff like that, and then hanging out. But I'm actually in Cole Bay, so it's on the Dutch side for sure. Because it's ridiculous. You can check in on the Dutch side, but not the French side. But once you checked in on the Dutch side, you can go anywhere on the whole island. You can't take your boat over to the French side, but you can go in a car. Anyway, and it is what it is. But Cole Bay, and there's so many fun places to do around here. There's actually a really good cruisers net here. Not cruisers net like radio net, but cruisers community. There's a happy hour every day, and it's so much cheaper here than the Virgin Islands. Oh my gosh! I mean, there's the Soggy Dollar Bar does dollar beers from 4 to 6 every day. I mean, you're like, wow. Where have you heard of dollar beers? And then the marina, I'm paying 80 cents a foot. I mean, this is the cheapest marina I've stayed in maybe ever, per foot. I mean, so if you have a 40 foot boat, you're paying $30 a night basically to stay in the marina. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, and yeah, it's really cheap here. I don't know why I spent so much time in the U.S. Virgin Islands. That's really expensive. So my plan is stay here for the end of the month, and then if the BVI truly does open, I'll swing through the BVI on the way back to Puerto Rico, where I'm putting the boat away. Clay Vagnini asks, "Hey Bobby, have you ever solved the multiple bilge pump failure? When I flew for the Navy, we were taught no such thing as coincidence involving mechanical failures. The breakers are both still on. I'm basically going to put it. I do it. There is no other than the breakers were popped. So." I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's going to be now on my checklist that whenever I'm underway, every 30 minutes, I'm going to check the breakers to see what's going on. Maybe, it just randomly popped a breaker. Maybe one of them was tripped. Maybe one of them was already off. And then the other one, I don't know. But it's one of those things I am going to keep an eye on from now on. And so if you didn't know about that, I did a patron-only video explaining I was having some bilge pump issues, and there was a lot of water in the bilge in the engine room, and it kind of concerned me. So that was a patron-only video that got out, so that's another reason our patrons, thank you so much. They get kind of cool stuff like that. And then on to James Keating, recommending, assuming the same budget, would you buy the newest boat you can find within range and slowly work minor fixes and upgrades, or buy a much older boat, leaving room in the budget for immediate fixes and upgrades? Honestly, I'd say you're better off buying the newest boat you can afford that has what you want. Older boats are great; they're beautiful, but my main reason for buy the newest boat that you can afford and go is because of the design factors. Newer boats there's a lot better use of space, a lot more comfortable. Sure, my first boat was that 1984 CNC 37, but that 37 had very little usable space inside because it was just an old design. So it didn't carry the beam all the way back, and so you didn't have any aft cabins really, and storage was a very big issue because the older boats, generally speaking, I'm sure there's a lot of whatever. I'm sure you'll leave a million comments, tell me how wrong I am, but the older boats were generally built more for speed and more for speed and actual maybe ocean passages and stuff like that, whereas the newer boats are built more for comfort and cruisability and livability, in my opinion. So take from that what you will. Okay, do you want a really fast boat? Okay, maybe, but you're willing to sacrifice space? Okay, you can go with an older boat. If you would like, but for me, living on the boat is the most important thing. You need to be okay, it's nice if you have a good sail, but you're only sailing once a week, maybe. You know what I mean? You had to live on the boat 7 days a week. So that's my opinion. Plus, all the systems are older, and a lot of people say, okay, yeah, but they don't make them like they used to, stuff breaks down. Yeah, well, I don't necessarily believe all that. I don't know. My opinion is buy the newest boat that you can afford. So, Keith Beard, Bobby, in regards to buddy boating, do you have one or two friends most of the time, once in a while, or so forth? It appears Delos has buddy boats most of the time, which seems to be good for unforeseen events. Not really too many buddy boats. I've always been on some kind of schedule that I've got to do, and that makes it hard to do, is to find people that are on that's the main thing, is it finding people that are on the same schedule or the same route. Everybody's got, I've got a lot of friends down here in St. Martin that are sailing right here right now, but half of them are headed to Grenada, half of them are headed somewhere else. They're going to keep cruising. There's some of them that are going back across to Europe. It's hard to find people that are on the same path or have the same goals in cruising. And I think, I know the people that buddy boat with Delos, and they're great people, but I think a lot of it just they kind of like cruising with Delos, and so they're willing to go wherever Delos goes. So, they've separated at times and gone separate ways, but they always kind of meet up and go back. So I think that's what it is. Jeff Galrup, what's up, man? Do you miss flying? What are your plans after you put the boat on the hard in July, August? I miss flying privately. I don't want to work for anybody again, flying airplanes. It was a great job when I had it, but you're always working for somebody else. It was always you're always a phone call away from saying, hey, get the plane ready, we're going here, and then you're gone for a week, which is, you kind of like selling part of your life. Is you're like, okay, this person that owns this part of the week, I can't go to anything. Well, you could say the same thing when people go on a 9-to-5 job, but I don't know, at least you're home every night and stuff like that, or get to do what you want for the most part. Whereas flying professionally, I mean, sure, there's the airlines, but it's nah. I mean, this is my job now. I don't plan on going back professionally flying. I eventually I'd like to get my license back and maybe get an airplane again at some point, but I have no plans for that in the immediate future. All right, Chris Mellig, any luck getting the Garmin Share to work? Shows you in North Carolina. I did get it to work this last week. So patrons, I posted the link the other day. You should have a link where you can do that. And if you're not a patron, you become a patron, patreon.com/sailingdoodles, and you can get the link to our live tracker. Chris also asks, does the price of diesel fluctuate a lot based on location? Yes, for sure. Do you need to plan it out to take advantage of the best prices and not get hit with a high cost? Yeah, for sure. Like when I left Puerto Rico, I definitely topped off there because it was pretty cheap there. I think it was, I don't recall, but I want to say this was also in February when I topped up in Puerto Rico. I think it was like $2.50 a gallon for diesel. Last time I filled up in St. Thomas, it was $4.50 a gallon. So, it can be pretty pricey. I'm not sure what it is here in St. Martin. I don't need to get any for a while. I probably, it might be one of those things that might be better off just filling up now because the prices are going to keep going up. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you can, sure, try to tanker as much fuel as you can because you buy it cheaper. Let's see here. Asmarts asks, what is the average cost, both operational and fixed, per month operating a motorboat versus a sailboat? I mean, most of that's going to be up to you. For me on this boat, I'm guessing it's about $1,000 a month in fuel. Now, and then the rest of it's okay. How much do you want to stay in a marina? How much do you want to eat out? How much do you want to do? I mean, how much are you going to be moving around? So I figure it's about $1,000 more a month to do a motor yacht than it would be a sailboat, is my guess. Maybe not even that much because you're still going to use some fuel on a sailboat. Maybe $800 a month more on a motorboat versus a sailboat. I mean, unless you're going to be doing long passages. Like I said in my last video, going from St. Thomas to St. Martin, that was about $1,000 in fuel. But then I'm going to not really move here for a month. And so I'm going to spend very little on fuel for the next month. So it averages out. I've spent $1,500 in fuel in 2 months. Okay, so then it's actually only $750. So, but that's what I would say. It's about $800 to $1,000 a month more to do a motor yacht versus a sailboat, but it's a lot more comfortable, I will say. Chris, again, asks, how many staterooms do you have? How many people can it sleep comfortably? 2 real staterooms that have queen-size beds in their own bathroom, and then I have one more cabin that has twin bunks, like one above another, and it has its own bathroom as well. So 6, really. I'm not a fan of people having to sleep on couches. So 6 people is about it. And then, do you really want to have 2 people in bunks? I don't know. It depends. So whatever. Chris, again, do you have the ability to make water? Do you carry it all? How much can you hold? How long does it last? I do have a water maker. It's currently inoperable. I've been trying to get parts for a while because it's through Sea Recovery, but it's hard to get parts from them because it's only a dealership basis thing only. And I've emailed this guy like 3 times, and I need to email him again. But I do have a way to do it. So this boat would normally carry about, I think, 180 gallons of water, but it has an extra 100-gallon tank, so about 280 gallons of water, which for 2 people being very conservative on water, or three people being conservative on water, we always did about 60 gallons a week of water. So, with 280 gallons, I can go over a month without needing water. But, if you're going to be washing clothes and all that, probably the biggest thing that uses water on this boat is the washing machine. It uses a lot of water. It's an older washing machine, not very efficient. And then washing dishes uses just a ton of water. So if you really want to save on water, or you don't have a water maker, then, you can pre-rinse with salt water and then wash and then rinse with fresh water. But yeah, so when we were doing Crossing the Pacific, we averaged 60 gallons a week per 3 people. Let's see, where are we? Thanks for the awesome videos. I'm seriously leaning towards the Bobby White retirement plan. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Good for you. All right, Robert Johnson. Hey, Bobby, just checking to see if you like the white sunglasses thing. On all your glasses and your videos, the white barcode stickers appear to be new. What is the secret for washing or maintaining the new sticker look? Because they are very cheap sunglasses. I don't have any with me at the moment. They're over there, but I can't reach them. But I buy them on Amazon. They're about $12 a piece, and I buy like 6 of them at a time. And so like about every 3 weeks, the lenses get scratched up and whatever, and I just chunk them. Or they start to rust, so that you're seeing multiple of the same sunglasses. So that's why. Titanium. Now that you've been making videos some time, what is your go-to camera, and what would you recommend for solid entry level? The go-to is the Lumix GH5 with the 12x60 Leica lens. It's a bit pricey and a bit heavy. But the picture quality is good. That's what this camera is. That's what both of these cameras are. They're both Lumix GH5s with the 12x60 Leica lens. Actually, that's a G9. That's a GH5. Same camera. One's mainly for stills, and then the other one is mainly for video. But whatever. And then, but there is one. The one it's the GX, the Lumix G. I think it's the GX85 or the G85. I think it's the GX85. It's a lot cheaper. And it comes with a 12x60, not the same Leica lens, but it is a pretty good entry level. I'd recommend that one. It's about, with the kit and with the lens and all that, it's about $600 or $700, which is pretty decent and it does pretty well. That's what Taylor uses. I bought her that camera a long time ago, so I would recommend that. And then the GoPros, you got to use those. The GoPros are so annoying though. They always they'll quit working a lot. So that's really annoying. They'll just freeze up. I haven't tried the Osmo action, but maybe they're a little better. I'm not sure. So, okay, OC, how is learning Spanish going? Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'll stop. And are you still using Pimsleurs? I was using Pimsleurs. It was an app. I liked it, but I really haven't been working on Spanish lately because I'm no longer in Puerto Rico. I know I should, but yeah, I just haven't. I need to get back to it. So. Jeff Saxon, having now had some time on a power boat, do you have a personal preference, power or sail? I think it really depends on what you want to do with the boat. I mean, that's the main thing. If we're just cruising around the Bahamas or the Caribbean, I think power boat's the way to go. I mean, maybe even a power cat, something like that. Those are really expensive, though. But if you're going to be crossing oceans, you need a sailboat for that. So if you want to go long haul around the world, sailboat. If you're just going to do regional cruising, power boat. So, all right. Forrest Stewart, what do you do if you get sick and need a doctor? You may have answered this before, so I apologize if you have. Uh-oh, my other camera locked up, so now I'm stuck on this camera. Sorry, guys. Hopefully that one doesn't lock up too, but whatever. All right. I do have... what I would definitely recommend is getting the Dan insurance. It's diver. I don't know. Dan. Just look up Dan Travel Insurance. They'll rescue you from wherever you are. Like if you need to be airlifted out, they'll do it. It's really cheap too. It's like $200 or $300 a year. And then I have a global health insurance. It was pretty cheap too. For a year, I think my premium was like $600. I have like a $7,000 deductible on it. But if I have a major incident, I'm covered. When you're actually down here in the islands, I mean, they have doctors and stuff. I mean, you're not going to get the latest technology and all that. But I mean, if you're feeling sick, you can go get a doctor, and they're generally pretty cheap. So it's not too bad. Now, I mean, it's just one of those things you got to be willing to. I went home a couple weeks ago mainly just to get a physical. I went to the Cooper Clinic and got a full physical, and they did the stress test, took my blood, did all that stuff, did a skin cancer screening and all that. So preemptive stuff I think was the way to go. And I mean it's it is maybe. If the worst happens, you have a heart attack somewhere. Well, yeah, it's gonna be a lot longer until you get help, but it's just a risk you're gonna have to take if you want to come down and live this lifestyle. All right, Michelle asks, keep wearing the white sunglasses. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What would make you happy? I honestly don't know. Thank you so much, though, Michelle. I don't know. I haven't really put too much thought into it. I'd like to get back into the Pacific Ocean next year. I'll probably cruise on this boat until this time next year, and then maybe sell this boat, and then reevaluate what I want to do in the Pacific. Do I want to cross the oceans? So at that point I might need to get to a catamaran sailboat or something like that. I don't know. And in 5 years, who knows? I mean, it's just keep doing what I'm doing for now. I mean, I have some ideas, but I don't know. Sean asks, what is a typical menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What is your workout program? Has any of that changed since you've gone to the dark side? Look forward to seeing you sail a cat. So breakfast, I normally just do like scrambled eggs and bacon, or not at all, or maybe a bagel. I do at least 2 or 3 days a week do the intermittent fasting thing, so like I don't eat till lunch. And then some days I will do scrambled eggs. The key to scrambled eggs, in my opinion, is use a generous amount of cream cheese and cook them on a very slow heat and keep constantly stirring, and that'll be amazing. Those are my favorite kind of eggs, and I'll do that. Lunch, doing a sandwich or something like that. And generally, like last night I cooked a steak on board, but I'll probably go out to dinner tonight with some friends. It depends on where you are. If you're anchored at some island, then yeah, you're cooking all your meals on board, and that can be chicken or steak or tacos and fish or something like that. I don't eat a whole lot of fish, but sometimes we do. So it's just you can get pretty much whatever you need down here. It's not too bad. And let's see here, workout program. I went for a run earlier today. I'll work out, do weights about every other day. I just have one of those dialing, a kettlebell that you can dial the different weight. So so I can do that, and I'll do just weights with that, and then I have like the little perfect push-up thing and a pull-up bar, and generally just do that kind of stuff. So, and that's about everything. It depends. Sometimes I'm better about it than others, but yeah. Bobby, seriously, how do you feel? Whoa, okay. How do you feel with all the sexual tension around? These girls you've had on the boat are pretty free-spirited and expressive. I would dare say what you don't show probably is insane and would have you booted from YouTube. How do you deal with that? Long term, do you want family, or is it bachelor life for you? There's no sexual tension on the boat. It is what it is, and yeah, we don't film everything, especially if we've had a little too much drink. We definitely don't. Sometimes we'll film it, and then we're like, I'm not putting that on there. But no, everybody's really cool. There's not tension on the boat. It's a lot of fun. So I wouldn't say that. Long term, if it happens, it happens. I'm not worried about it. I'm pretty happy right now. So we'll see how it goes. Michael Palmer, interested in hearing your thoughts of the future sale of your powerboat. Do you have a percentage or dollar figure in mind regarding Florida-based sale versus Puerto Rico-based? I'll probably sell it around this time next spring, so 2022, maybe even as early as March or April. We'll see. I saw one of these boats same year, and very, very, very similar layout. Somebody, a patron, or was it a patron or viewer? I don't remember. Somebody emailed me a link to it and said, hey, I'm thinking about making an offer on this boat. I see it's pretty much exactly like your boat. What do you think? The only difference between that boat is it didn't have the added on cockpit in the back. So it was a Hatteras 52, but it wasn't extended to 60 feet. So it didn't have the extra 280 gallon fuel tank, and it didn't have the extra 100 gallon water tank, and it didn't have the extra generator. So, and now I've got a pretty nice dinghy on here. And that boat was listed for $100,000 more than I paid for mine. And so I'm thinking I can make 30-40% at least on what I paid for this when I sell it in Florida, I hope. And then that would be a pretty good, I got to see what's going on with the catamaran stuff. I'm talking to a manufacturer or two, or a manufacturer. We'll see how that works. But so yeah. And then, yeah. All right, Bobby, when you provide a GPS map for your next destination, the information shows a path would be would you be open to explaining how to read nautical charts? Perhaps reading a nautical chart equates with a road map. It's pretty simple. Main thing you got to watch for is their depths. You can get Navionics on your phone, which is basically, that's a really good way to plan a route. Navionics charts for your phone, because then you can just hit chart 2. You can put all the information about your boat, like what you draw, what your air draw is, and stuff like that, and then it will route you to get where you want to go and avoid all the shallow water and the bridges that you need to go around, stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool tool for that. If you want to, I'm sure there's a lot of, I'll try to talk a little more about it, but I'm sure there's a lot of more in-depth programs you can watch on YouTube that'll teach you how to read a nautical chart. I almost said aeronautical. That too. All right, Tyler. Hey, Bobby, new patron, but a long-time follower. You may have already addressed this. What does your average operating cost look like for the new motor yacht? Insurance, payments, gas, upkeep, maintenance. So So insurance, I'm paying $4,500 a year. So I don't know, that's like, is that almost $400 a month? But I mean, insurance has doubled since Maria and all that. They've really gone up ours. I mean, so Irma and all that stuff. So, and then like I said, about $1,000 a month in fuel, and then really other than that, it's whatever you want to do. Upkeep, I'd say you count on another $400 or $500 a month. Something like that. So that's about $2,000 right there before you get into food and marinas and stuff like that. So, and that's just really what you want to spend. I mean, I always said on a sailboat, about the cheapest you can operate a sailboat all in, and this is living really cheap, is about $1,500 a month. And that's not going out to restaurants, and that's not having a whole lot of fun. Whereas I think on a sailboat, if you were to spend $300 or $3,000 a month, if you could spend $3,000 to $4,000 a month, you're living pretty well at that. So I mean, that's really, I mean, you say $4,000. So by the time you pay for fuel and insurance and stuff like that, that gives you $3,000 a month. That's $100 a day to either stay in a marina, go out to eat, go do some stuff. So that's living pretty well. But I mean, it does add up because I mean, so if you stay in a marina, well, that's probably $150 a night right there. So it takes away from whatever else you can do. But at $3,000 to $4,000 a month on a sailboat, I think lives a pretty good lifestyle. So basically add $1,000 to that, and that's pretty good lifestyle on a motor yacht, $4,000 to $5,000 a month, in my opinion. Yeah, you can spend a lot more than that if you want, that's for sure. Let's see here. Smoops. What's up, Smoops Adventures? Have you started kite sailing the dark side? Is it even possible with that boat? Kite sailing. Like kite boarding? I've ever considered kite sailing the dark side, like hooking up like spinnaker or something? No, I have not thought about doing that. This is a motorboat, and yeah, gosh, this thing weighs so much it would. Yeah, no, I have not. But thank you guys. Sam and Sydney, Bob, how you doing? You looking good on the video? Just checking in with you. But your boat looks like a boat, and the project lists a little longer every day. Even given that you're actually looking more rested, how you doing? I'm doing well, man. I'm pretty happy. I'm not complaining at all. I don't think it would do any good if I did complain, but yeah, I'm doing all right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And the jobs haven't been too much on the boat. I mean, I've got another list. I got the disposal all quit working. What else is? I got a list of 2 or 3 other things. The hydraulic steering is not working. I got a guy coming Wednesday to check that out, a hydraulic specialist. So anyway, but it's always something. It wouldn't matter at any boat. It's going to be something. Which 3 people? So Mike asks, if you had the opportunity to change a decision or 2 that you made since you started Sailing Doodles, what would they be? Man, I don't know. I don't think I'd change anything. I mean, it's all worked out. Whatever I thought was going to be a negative ended up opening the door to a positive. So hindsight being 20/20 and all that, I'm pretty happy with the way things have worked out so far. Mike asks again, which 3 people would you consider as a dream crew from everyone? I can't say that. I'm not gonna. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and stuff like that. But all the crew has been pretty great. We're getting close. I already answered that one. All right. So the last question. This will be a relatively short one. That's good. Mark asks, what do you think of the safe functional range of the boat is now that you have some hours behind burning dinosaurs? I think 500 miles, 600 miles is pretty good range on this. And the good thing is that I don't think I would do anything more than, I mean, it's 120 miles would be the longest leg. I think that'd be from, I guess I could do like 300 miles from Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico. I'm not Puerto Rico, from Dominican to the Bahamas. I think it's probably 300 miles from Luperon to Long Island there and the Bahamas. That's probably the longest leg I'd even have to do. So yeah, I like I said, this is a regional boat. It's not meant for crossing oceans. If you wanted to cross oceans in a power boat, you need a proper trawler, and this is not that. Although this has a lot more speed than a trawler, but it sacrifices fuel burn. You need a good, this is semi-displacement hull. You need a a good solid displacement hull trawler, you're gonna be a lot slower. You're only not gonna be able to like go 11 knots like I did getting here the other day. You're only gonna be doing 7 or 8, maybe even less, but you'd be a lot more fuel efficient. So, all right, well, that one was a nice and easy one. I didn't even get to my second beer, but thank you guys for tuning in. It's patreon.com/sailingdoodles. If you would like to come up with some questions, I'll be asking those next month for our patrons to ask questions, and I will answer these again. And I hope it helps you guys kind of learn some stuff and get prepared for when you go cruising, and I hope you do go cruising. So thanks again, guys, and I'll talk to you later.